When it comes to career, I don't hear people talk a lot about the role that performance management plays in what happens within career, as well as for organizations, what happens to their engagement levels. I was working with an organization, they had done an engagement survey, the scores were pretty low. And as we dug deeper, it was clear that really managers were having maybe one meaningful conversation each year. It usually happened at the end of the year. Some organizations, they'll do the mid-year, but it's almost like if HR is not forcing it, it's not happening. And look, I think it's important for organizations to cultivate and train and develop their managers and the individuals that work in their company to know how to navigate those conversations throughout the year. But you don't have to wait for the organization to come up with this big plan. I highly recommend that as individuals, you view performance management year round as the way that you're driving your career with your manager. This isn't about where is my promotion, where's my raise kind of conversations. It is about checking in with the person that you're, I like to see as the client that you're delivering the work for. This is how you see it going. How are they seeing it going? Where is that gap in alignment? As managers, that part of your career is being a professional people manager. If you took that role, that's what you signed up for. So how do you make sure that in those conversations, you're intentional, you do things on purpose? I love the one-on-ones that we have weekly or whatever it is, but those are usually firefighting things. There are particular things that I like to do with individuals when it's goal setting, checking in with their motivation, talking to them and helping them understand. Those are kind of the meatiest coaching conversations that we have around how are they seeing their performance, really setting up a safe environment where they spend more time on self-reflection and observing and thinking about the patterns that they're witnessing in the business and what they're doing versus being focused on me. Notice as a manager, how many times do your performance conversations, it's about, are you happy? Are you on the same page with me? And it ends up, and our ego can get kind of sucked into the power kick of that. But it's such a waste of time. Nobody gets anything out of that. You want to set up something where you're really able to tend to the roots of what's happening for the individual's career, what's happening for the business, so that whatever's growing on top, that's healthy, that's showing all the leaves and the flowers and the branches that you're trying to grow for the organization, for your team, and for you, all of you as individuals, that your career is reflecting that growth. That, to me, performance management is just a powerhouse of a tool. And I will say I've used it in organizations. Me as an individual, my manager wasn't doing performance management. The organization wasn't doing anything really around it. And I didn't have to title it anything. I just had a set schedule of when I talked about certain things because that's how I tended to the business that I was running. So no matter what situation you're in, if anything, start to really flip the switch on how you view that particular thing. It's not an HR process. It is a business process, and it is a dialogue, and it is a collaboration between employees and managers. And it's powerful when you know how to use it and you leverage it as a positive versus some sort of, compliance check the box thing. So I'd love to hear below how you are setting up your next conversation, either as an individual with your manager or as a manager with your direct report. How do you set it up to be a really successful collaboration?